Trash, Part 4, Chapter 7. My name is Federico Gons, and I make grave memorials. One small detail from me for Father Juilliard. You ask, sir, so I will tell you. I met Jose Angelico the way I meet many of my customers. I have a workshop on the cemetery road just past the coffin makers. I specialize in the small, simple stone. I am very aware that my clients have next to nothing, and renting the grave has often taken most of their money, so I modify and get down to the very lowest cost. The dead, however, must have that stone, the reminder, the eternal reminder, that this man, this woman, this child existed. On some of the graves, the name is marked in a paint or even pen, and everyone knows how sad that is. Make something out of stone, I say, and no one touches the grave. The poor are not buried, you see. There is not enough ground here anymore, so in the Naravo they build upwards. The graves of the poor are concrete boxes, each just big enough for the coffin. They go up and up, in some parts 20 boxes high. A funeral here is to slide the coffin in and watch the ceiling of the compartment. Part of my service is that I cement the stone that I've made into place and thus seal the chamber. Jose Angelico used me when his son died. I was sad to see him again with news that his daughter had died also. It meant that he had no one in the world now. He was a thin, lean, gentle man who always spoke quietly. I knew that he was a houseboy for a rich man, but that was all I knew. He found me early in the morning, and he looked as if he hadn't slept for a long, long time. He gave me just a morning to make the stone, which is unusual, but he said he had run out of money for the funeral home and the coffin had to be moved that day. It would be a simple ceremony, he said, because there was no relatives. I offered him all my sympathies, and he paid me $200 as a deposit, and I set to work. Piedante Angelico, seeds to harvest, my child, were the words he chose. It is accomplished. I did not chisel it myself. My son is 10 years old and is a fine cutter now. He used to rough out and I would finish. Now he finishes and he's developing his own style of turning letters, small flourishes that add elegance to elegant words. He completed the stone in 4 hours and we set it by for pickup. How was I to know it was lies? He looked to me so meek and so mild. There wasn't a lie in his face. He took the stone and paid me for a small leather bag. He had the coffin behind him, carried by 2 young men, the street sweepers, they looked like. No priest. I went along and saw the coffin placed inside, and we said prayers for the child. I sealed it and fixed our little stone. All I could see was the worry and grief, like he was a man worn down to nothing. There wasn't a lie in his face. When I read about him dying in a police station, I just thought, poor man. I read the story to my son, and we said a prayer for him also.